What's up? I'm Colin. I'm a podcaster, father, entrepreneur, human, uh, all these different things, right? I am a person that is obsessed with growth mindset and becoming better. I want to make the world better. I want to make people around me better. I want to leave a legacy behind so future generations are better. And I want a better world for my son and my grandkids and so on. And so I've been doing this podcasting thing and this health thing for a long time, and the question kept coming up of like, how can I actually make a difference? What matters? Should I keep talking about nutrition? No, that's kind of boring. Everyone else is doing it, or not everyone, but a lot of people are already doing it, and they're doing a better job than I can really invest into it. So, what's like a big idea or a big concept, something I can get behind that I can actually help with? And it kept coming down to some form of betterment. That's been integral to my life, into leveling up, into everything that I've done, self-made from nothing to something, and to financial freedom, and to building companies and doing all these different things. But then you do that stuff and you get some money and you realize like it doesn't really matter. Like you don't need that much money to actually be financially free. You don't need that much money to live an amazing lifestyle full of health and abundance and amazing relationships. And I used to always think of my, as my younger self that was the definition of life and that was the goal and that's what you had to do. So the question is now, well, what's the point of life? What's the meaning of life for the human? What do we do? How do we answer that question? Because my answer and your answer are not going to be the same. But there are some universals, right, that we can all kind of get behind and that are applicable to us all, like community and, health and feeling good and doing things for their own sake. And so the Better Human podcast, brand, everything I'm doing here is trying to answer that question of what is the meaning of life? And then providing an answer that is basically to become better and to make better, to make the world around you better, to make people around you better, to make yourself better, right? And there's two ways that I think about this, all right? So we have part one. The answer to the meaning of life is, one, doing things for their own sake, right? The goal of money and financial freedom is to then have time to do what we want to do, right? The reality is most of us can do most of what we want to do on a daily basis. We already can, even if we have to have a job or whatever. For me, though, I like to have all my time. I don't like anybody telling me what to do. So naturally, I had to be an entrepreneur, okay? Doing things for their own sake, right? If you're going to spend your time, you want to spend on something that's enjoyable rather than something that is just a means to an end. So when you spend most of your time doing things to try to get something else, whether that's work to make money or you're doing something because you feel obliged because someone expects you to do it, and then you're just doing it just to avoid letting them down or whatever, like you want to basically remove as much of that from your life as possible. Do things for their own sake, okay? That's the first part. The second part is life is about the journey, not a destination, right? There is no destination. There is no place to go in life other than the grave. And going to the grave with lots of money or awards or things you've done that other people think is cool doesn't really do anything. You still rot in the ground, right? Or maybe potentially in the sky, depending on what you believe. Either way, this physical life is over. So that destination that I struggle with this. I'm doing it today, right? We're all trying to get there. We're all trying to get somewhere we don't know where we're trying to get. And I struggle with this. I fall into what Naval talks about, nexting. I'm always like, what's next? What's next? I'm always trying to plan my perfect day because I want to make sure that I get work done. I'm productive. I want to make sure that I'm spending my time the best way I can, right? So what it does is it actually removes me from the moment in a very ironic way. The Buddha would call me a moron because I'm not being in the moment. I'm creating suffering for myself. So I have to be in the moment. I have to embrace the journey. I have to realize that now, yes, I have lots of goals in my future, and I'm going to work towards those goals. But I need to balance that with building relationships, having fun, and yes, spending money, doing things now. Giving up potentially on maybe the speed of getting to some of those goals a little bit, right? Work a little bit less, spend a little bit more, invest a little bit less, and then get to those goals. But then I get more satisfaction of now, rather than my subconscious falling into this trap of thinking that one day I'll have made it and I'll be happy and content and can then relax. Even now in my brain, when I talk about this out loud, there is something inside me that is like, well, I'm going to get there soon. I have this number in my head. I have this kind of lifestyle in my head. And I'm definitely chipping away at it. But I cannot give up the precious now because I'm so focused on a potential tomorrow, which may never come. So if we had to break this down, what is the Better Human podcast about? What am I trying to do with the content here? It's what's the meaning of life is the question. And we have two answers. We do things for their own sake, and we make our goal to do that. So our goal is to build a life to which every day we wake up, we do things for its own sake. If we cook food, we cook it and we enjoy it and it's fun and we get, we get satisfaction out of the process. If it's exercising, we do that because we feel good and it makes us feel good later and it helps us live longer, etc. We go into the sauna. It's painful at times, but then it's good for us. We play board games where we're there just to have fun. And yeah, you're trying to win, but like, it's not a big deal if you lose or win or whatever. It's more about the moment, Maybe we write because we enjoy writing. Maybe we watch movies because we enjoy watching movies. We socialize with our friends and we spend time doing nothing because the point is we're doing the thing already, which is spending time with people we care about, right? Which really for all of us should be much higher up on our priority list. That's something I've learned as I've grown older for sure. And then two, it's a journey. So they're very much intertwined, right? Every day you wake up, you're working towards goals. Yes. You have plans for the future. Yes. You have a vision. Yes. But that doesn't mean that the 16 hours you get today that can include, it's actually amazing what you can get done in a day. Like I was just in nature, getting bit up by mosquitoes and stepping in mud. And actually it was overall an unpleasant experience. And then I come back to eating and in AC and in my office. I spend time with the kids or whatever. And it's a great contrast. And like, I'm appreciative of that. It's not always rosy, honky-dory, but it's about doing things and mixing it up. And then I'm going to go to the gym later. I'm going to get a really good high out of playing racquetball. It really brings me into the moment. And then I'm going to call some friends. I'm going to send a couple friends some voice memos. Maybe I'll meet up with somebody. And then I'm going to come home, put the kids to bed. And then I'm going to spend time with my partner. And we're going to watch something and read maybe. I'm going to watch some videos on Bitcoin. I'm going to watch some YouTube. I'm going to read some fiction. Think about how much dynamism there is in that day. And that's like an average day. But I definitely take it for granted. Like I definitely take it for granted. If I think about that right now, like that average day is awesome. And, throughout my career as an entrepreneur, I've had plenty of struggles. I've had different phases, more work, less work. There's kind of like periods of time where you sprint hardcore and, you're working 16 hours a day. All you think about is work. I'm in a little bit of a lull where I've built systems and I have a team. And now the business just needs more time and it needs more space. And so I'm giving it that. And maybe I'll start something in the future. I don't know. But I'm actually also reaching another epoch in my life where I feel like I want to become more of the investor, the decision maker. I want to get paid for my knowledge, my decision making, or not knowledge. Well, knowledge, yeah. But I want to get paid for my judgment rather than my labor, as Naval says. And that just sticks with me so much when I read that line. The goal for all of us should be to get paid for our judgment, not our time or effort or how many calories we expend doing some physical labor or anything like that. We should get paid for the decisions we make. We make good decisions, we get paid. We make bad decisions. I don't know, maybe we don't get paid or maybe there's some skin in the game or whatever. But as you level up in life and you acquire more resources and more assets, then you make better decisions, you make better investments, you save your money more, etc. And over time, your life literally becomes, all success is decision making. You have to keep making decisions and eventually kind of forge your path, right? And I think that's true of a successful life monetarily and also just, internally or, I guess the word is internally. So that's what we're about here. I highly recommend, just do it for me, please. Just do it. Okay. Go to colin.coach, which is here. You can see here. And of course, we have all the archives to the Better Human podcast, goes way back. And it used to be called the Ancestral Mind. So we have a lot of back episodes on health and nutrition. You're going to get the newsletter. Okay. So when you download this PDF right here, you're going to get the Better Human newsletter, which I send out every week. I'm also doing some experiments of really expanding this bad boy and turning it into a twice a week thing. I love the newsletter format. I have a lot of big ideas for that, but every week minimum, you get a very useful email, a bunch of different sections on different things from finance to health to relationships to mindset to struggle to podcasts that were done for the week, some videos that I found that I enjoyed, maybe books, recommendations, quotes. There's always something valuable inside the newsletter. So go to Colin.coach and get that. You can subscribe here if you're on YouTube, or if you're listening to me on iTunes or wherever, go to the same place. The hub is Colin.coach, and get on that newsletter. And if you want to support the show, you can head over to wildfoods.co, get your superfood, real food ingredients. Use code WILDCEO for 12% off your entire order, and support your health at the same time. That's my day job. If you want to reach me in any way, go on Twitter. Actually, I'm really on Twitter, Instagram. I think I'm going to retire from email. So if you actually want to find me, send me a DM. As of right now, my DMs are not like overfilled. In the future, if they get overfull, then maybe I can't answer as fast, but I try to answer everybody. So that's going to be it. What's the meaning of life? Why are you here? Well, I believe it's betterment. Better yourself, better the world, better community, better everything. And then while you're doing that bettering, you're embracing the journey rather than only living in the future in some arbitrary destination.